It's time for another Meet the Mayor segment. We got a new face. Introducing you to the new mayor of St. Catharines, Matt Siscoe. Good to meet you, Mr. Mayor. Is that weird to say?
It's bizarre to hear it from time to time. I'm still not totally used to it, but it's fun for the ego at least.
Yeah, there you go. Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
And I say Matt, and it's Matt with one T, I see.
Matt with one T.
Is there a story behind that?
Yes, and it's a bizarre story because it still doesn't make sense to anybody in my family, but my mom actually spelled my name with one T, Matthew with one T. She thought it would somehow stop people from calling me Matt, and I think it just accelerated the process. I ran my very first election with Matthew on the sign. I never did it again, and she is still to this point disappointed in me when she drives past an election sign that says Matt Siscoe on it. She just wonders, why couldn't I have stuck with the full name?
Oh, I bet you she's pretty proud of you being the new mayor of St. Catharines. How are things going?
It's been good. It's, I'm 3 weeks into it. I joke with people I haven't burned the place down yet, so I'm set the bar nice and low for my first few weeks. I haven't tripped over it yet.
Well, listen, your background is interesting too, because you've been a city councilor since 2010 in St. Catharines, but you're a former, I guess we're saying that now, high school physics teacher?
I will say temporarily retired for the time being.
Okay.
But yeah, no, I've been a high school teacher in Niagara Falls at, shout out to St. Paul Catholic High School, but I taught physics there for 15 years. I'm very blessed. I'm great people to work with, and it was maybe the hardest part about winning the election was knowing that I wasn't going back. I always joke, and I say this to my students every day. I was very lucky. I would drive down the end of my street with a smile on my face because I knew I was going to a place I was happy. I'm in a job now which I really enjoy, but that was the hardest part, was leaving the students, leaving the other teachers, even the admin staff. Nobody ever loves their admin staff, but I even love my admin staff at St. Paul.
But you're going from, then you're getting into politics. Now you've been, because the city councilor was a part-time.
Yeah.
So now you're in full-time into politics, and there's a lot of issues out there. Okay, let's get into a couple of them as our time's running out. But like, where are you at with Bill 23? Because I know a lot of the mayors are quite upset by it.
You know what, I will start off by saying I think there are aspects of Bill 23 that made sense from a planning perspective, but obviously, and you've heard a lot about this, on the development charge side of things with revenues for municipalities, there are a lot of issues, but credit to the government, they seem to be listening. You know, the Ontario Big City Mayors, which we're a part of, put out a couple letters over the last few weeks requesting motions coming from the group, requesting that the government look at the revenue pieces specifically, because if we're not able to collect the same level of development charges, that means roads don't get built, that means community centers, police departments, fire stations don't get built. The government came back last week, and the provincial government, to its credit, said they're going to make municipalities whole. So our advocacy seems to be making inroads. The government's listening. There are other pieces of this legislation we need them to listen on, but I think we're finding Minister Clark has been a good partner. He's a former municipal politician. I think he understands municipal finances, and he understands the situation that this is putting us in. From the City of St. Catharines' perspective, we know that Bill 23 is going to create a lot of challenges. We were struggling to bring in planners to our city in the first place, just because of the change in the work environment because of COVID. You know, people can work pretty much anywhere. So we're going to keep our efforts up, but this will change the landscape because the regional level of government changes.
Speaking of landscape, as we got to go, but like a quick update on the former GM plant. Oh, the grounds there.
We had a great presentation on Monday night. The Ministry of the Environment came in. They're showing us that, you know, there are still concerns about contaminants, but the levels are coming down in a lot of areas. And the developer who's in charge of the property now, credit to them. They've only been on site for 2 years. They've done a huge cleanup, tens of thousands of tons of rubble, and they have an environmental plan which they're confident, and the ministry's confident, is going to end a lot of the environmental concerns of the area.
Awesome. Okay, we've run out of time. There's something that we want to get to that we don't have time to, but maybe down the road, because we're going to be talking more. Is you really want to get more film and TV to the area, and I know you've created a whole video that's surrounding around that. So we'll get to that in our next chat.
Excellent.
Matthew.
Oh wow. Wow. That's how we're going to start
your
our
mom is talking in my ear.
That's how we're
saying, call him Matthew.
That's how we're going to start our relationship here, Tim. Eh?
Matt Siscoe, Mayor of St. Catharines. Good first visit. We'll see you down the road. More Money Live after this.